Hello everyone, it is Corey and we are back with another Wednesday video. I'm not going to call it Warhammer Wednesdays anymore because, well, it's pretty evident that, it's what we're doing. It's a Wednesday. There's Warhammer, obviously. So yeah, had a bit of feedback from some of the guys, some of my friends. Top banner, not going to be there. There's no need for it to be there as, the focus should be on what's on the screen, really. So you know the drill. We're going to start off with my paintings. You got one from me today. This is an orc boy. I've taken a bit of time on him. Face is still a work in progress, but the majority of him is done now. I just need to touch up the face, and that is something I absolutely hate. I can't stand doing faces. But it's something that needs doing. It's still a work in progress. It's not a fully painted model. I have got some fully painted models, but I just decided to go with this guy because I'm actually proud of the work I put into him. So, yeah, you're going to be seeing him all over the screen anyway, so I'm just going to give you a bit of a chance to go through it all, have a look at him, and yeah, so got him in front of me here. So as you're seeing him, I'm just going to talk about him. I've actually put a bit of effort into the weapon. As you can see, there's an embossed area on the print, so I've done that in red. I'm not really following any sort of core orc faction. I know some people like to go with like the bad moons or evil suns and stuff. There are, or goth boys, there are some preset orc factions out there, but I'm just kind of doing mine in a just a generic paint, whatever I feel like at the time. I don't feel like doing any set colours for these guys. Again, some people do, some people like to follow a certain faction in the lore. I'm just kind of winging it, I'll be honest with you guys. It's just kind of however I feel like I want to paint them that day. Because in my eyes, ooh, I just have my desk and everything shook. In my eyes, like, orcs aren't organised. I know they are to an extent, but in my mind, I like the idea that they're not, and they're just ramshackled. Oh, right, okay, I'm wearing a brown tunic. Well, I'm wearing a red one. Well, I'm wearing a green one. I want to wear yellow because more Daka. And, and then there's a guy in purple that just no one can see. No one's ever seen a purple orc, so, yeah. Little bit of a lore joke for you there for those who are well versed in orc lore. The joke is that the orcs believe that no purple is invisible and sneaky because no one's ever seen a purple orc, and that just works for them. That like, yeah, brilliant. Again, orcs, their lore is if they believe it, it comes true. So yeah. So anyway, I'm digressing. Let's roll on to the video. Let's have a look at some other people's paintings. Okay, so we'll start with a little something different here. So we're going with like just a showcase that someone's put up of just some sigils, or I don't know what. I think I'm just going to say sigils. I think that's what they are. Things that people carry. They're not quite standard because they're not a flag. I don't think they can be called a standard. Anyway, so they've gone with like damaged versus factory new. I quite like the damaged look. That's really cool. I think I actually prefer the damaged to it. Just shows a bit of battle hardened. Looks quite nice. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I'm gonna go with like a 7 or an 8. Just like, don't get me wrong, it looks good with like the damaged shows more skill. But it's not quite what I'd consider like, blow me away. Or, it's a 7. I'm gonna go with a 7, and that's where we're leaving that. Moving on. Okay, here we are. This is so 11th edition's been out for so I'm recording this on Tuesday. So for you guys, yesterday. Yes, yesterday. I've got to get used to the camera going backwards. So It's been out for like 3 days. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days. Bastard interrupted. Jesus, that's an outtake. So someone here has painted all 3 of Yarrick's models. If you don't know who Yarrick is, these boys, these orc boys, he loves killing them. They love fighting him. They have history. Okay. I'd assume if you're watching someone rate minis, you'd know a little bit about lore. But if you don't, look up Battle of Armageddon. Basically, you got Yarrick and Ghazghkull, and they've been fighting for ages. Ghazghkull once caught Yarrick and let him go because he likes having enemies to fight. And he can't find an enemy quite like Yarrick. Yarrick despises the greenskins. He hates the orcs. They cut off his hand, so he decided to cut off a power claw of an orc and use that as a cosmetic. Not cosmetic, a prosthetic. Yeah, super cool. So, anyway, someone's painted all 3 of Yarrick's models. Let's have a good look at these. So this is 11th edition Yarrick. And it is good. Jesus, like that. Wow. He's cool. They've done good work on him. Wow. I mean, the detail on his face alone. Okay. To be fair, they've done work, like, on all of it. Like, I've got not a bad word to really say about any of these. I prefer the one with the standard. I'm not that much of a nerd that I know which edition is which. So sorry about that. But all 3 of these models are just excellent work. Like, yeah. Honestly, great stuff. I'm gonna go with. Problem is, I don't feel like the models leave you enough. Models that size don't leave you enough to really showcase the skill, and I mean, some people are there who are really, really good. They can put a lot of detail into these, but I don't feel like Yarrick's model gives you that. So this isn't really on the painter. This is more on the canvas that they've been given to paint on. Don't get me wrong, Yarrick is cool. Yarrick is great. I think he's fantastic in the lore. But his model's not. His model isn't that great. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be upfront. So I'm going to go with an 8. Just because I feel like, you could really show off more. But I don't think you've been given that opportunity with this model. That's what I'm going with. Okay, hate me or don't. That's just my opinion. Everyone's got their own. Moving on. Wow, it's suddenly started to stink in here. That's because we've got a Nurgle Knight here. I think this is a bit of a kit bash by the looks of it. I've never seen these on the website. So if this isn't a kit bash and this is genuinely something that Warhammer put out, I don't think it is. Simply wow, this is fucking cool. One sec, I'm just gonna go check. Okay, so this is something someone's made themselves. They've taken what GW have given us and made it better. All I can say is GW, take notes, because this when people say we want Chaos Knights, this is more of this. Obviously, you've got to take into account, like, in lore, there probably isn't anything quite like this. They are just regular knights, but that is something that we need more of. That is disgusting. It's taken something that the Imperium would consider pure, and it has twisted it and made it a malform of what was originally wanted. It's yes, yes, that 10 out of 10. What you've done is created art. Beautiful. Okay, this is someone's Tau army. He says it's his boy's 2,750 point Tau army, so I'm guessing it's his sons when he says my boys rather than maybe it's his friends. I don't know. But they've said they've finished painting it. I've made my feeling on Tau pretty clear in the past. I I don't hate them for conventional reasons. I don't hate them just because people think it's cool to hate Tau. No, you like Tau, great, you know, but I don't like the idea that we go, oh, Tau, they're actually the only good guys in the galaxy. Everyone else is bad, but the Tau are actually pretty good. No, because they work on a similar. The theory is that I subscribe to is that they follow a similar sort of pattern as a hive mind. The closer you are to an ethereal, it makes you, you know, listen to the ethereal and think, oh my god, they're amazing. But that being said, you know, I don't see them as being any really different from the Tyranids, but the Tyranids, they do what they do and they aren't like, they don't claim to be good, they don't claim to be bad, they don't claim to be anything but we want to consume. Whereas Tau, they're trying to claim that they are the good guys and they're, while brainwashing people, I don't think that's good. I think at least, like, and they have a social hierarchy, like, oh, we're the ethereals, we're better than you lowly people, go and shoot them for us. So I don't hate Tau because people think it's cool to dump on them. I think that's wrong. Don't hate on Tau players either. Like, people like what they like. They have got real cool models, and I'm not taking that away from them at all. Their models are cool. I just don't like them as a species. Would I paint Tau models? Yes, fuck yeah, I would. Like, who wouldn't want to paint some gunships and big walker models? Fuck yeah, I'd love to do that. But they're not my favourite, and I don't like them as a faction. I think, realistically, there are no good guys in 40k. But the Orcs, they just look a good scrap, mate. That's why I like the Orcs, you know? Same as, like, the reason I like the Nighthaunt in Sigmar. They're death. No one can escape death. It will come for us all eventually. And, you know, fuck, I hope that's not how it ends up. You being, like, going and fucking being a cursed soul forced to wander the plains and collect other souls for death. God no, hope that doesn't happen to me. But anyway, let's rate these Tau. I mean, the painting itself could do with a bit of work, but I mean, they're painted. And you know what? For a start, like, this is your first army. I'll be honest, for your first army to go through them all and get them all painted, like, this is a lot of units to paint. I'd get paint fatigue. Like, that's why my Orcs aren't complete, because I got just full-blown paint fatigue. I sat down for a whole afternoon and done a load and then got bored and was like, fuck, this is too much work for me. But this, like, fair play for completing a whole army. I mean, the gunship, like, you can tell, like, maybe it needed a primary coat first before it looks like you've painted straight onto plastic. But, you know, that's something you've got to learn from. base coating is a thing, and it is, you know, you gotta do it. Like I found that out. Like a lot of my models look terrible because I didn't give them a base coat. Um, I love that. I'd love a bit more, another photo of that guy just so I could have a proper look at him. Let's see if we can zoom in on it. No, it didn't work. That's a shame. But you know what? From what I can see here, he does look cool, and I bonus points for scenery. Okay, so total rating, I'm gonna give it a 6. Um, First army didn't paint onto a base layer, but keep at the hobby. If this is where you're at as your first army, you can only go up. Like, you know, your next army, or any expansions you do to this, it's gonna constantly keep going up. So fair play to you, keep at it. Okay, that concludes our session for today, guys. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, share it with your friends, subscribe. As always, I'm always happy to do this. I always find it fun to spread a bit of positivity amongst the community. We have got a great community here in the Warhammer world, so just keep making sure it shines through, guys. It definitely helps. You know, again, I don't ever do any of this to shit on anyone. Like, you know, your skill's your skill, my skill's my skill. Let's just give each other some tips along the way to make things, you know, to help us each get better. Because I didn't do it at the beginning, I'm rating my orc a, because he's still a work in progress, I'm going with a 2, but I know he could probably come up to a 4 once I'm finished. Please do give me some tips on what I can do better. I welcome them. I want to be good one day. So, yeah, please leave me some tips in the comments. As I said, like and share with your friends, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one.